Hey, Dave Dynasty here for the Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You know, I've spent years in the wrestling business, from wrestler to promoter, and now as the host of the Dave Dynasty Show. To be successful in the wrestling business, solid training from experienced instructors is mandatory if you're going to make it today. And that's what you'll get at the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling. Not only instruction from former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Tommy Wildfire Ridge, but many other big-name wrestlers, managers, and referees. And it gets better. Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling will provide in-ring training and personal character training with all practices recorded on high-definition cameras. They have over 2 tons of weightlifting equipment and tanning beds located in an indoor sports facility that will host monthly wrestling events, bringing in names big enough to ensure that you, as a beginning student, will get seen. This school has it all. For anyone interested in the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling, call 336-862-5528 today. Once again, that is 336-862-5528. Ask for Chris, and you will immediately be on your way to your career in the wrestling business. Once again, call Chris at the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling at 336-862-5528.
I am your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you once again for being with us and helping spread the word on our little podcast here that is supporting wrestling in the Midwest. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Had a very calm week, no big deal. We're here again on the Dave Dynasty Show. Yeah, sorry, I had a little sidetracked there with my, lost my train of thought for a second. Not good when you're, less than a minute into the show and you're losing your train of thought, but oh well. Big news this week. As you saw, we announced on social media, we won an award. Indie PopCon, the big pop culture convention in Indianapolis, we won a podcast award in the sports and rec category. Super cool, super excited. Thanks to the con, to Indie PopCon for that. And thanks to all you guys for all your support and your listening and your sharing and everything else that made all this possible. Like I said online on social media, and I'll say it here, we're working hard to continue to grow and expand and improve. If you've got any suggestions, any constructive criticism, or if you just want to say, hey, Dave, you suck, whatever it might be, you can always hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. There's a million ways to get a hold of us, it feels like. You can find all those at davedynasty.com. There's links there for everything. But, yeah, give us some feedback. Let us know what you would like to change, what you like more of, less of, who you'd like to hear on the show, etc., etc. We will take all suggestions into consideration. We got a good show this week. We got Dasher Hatfield on, Chikara Pro Superstar. He's here to talk Chikara. He's here to plug the big upcoming Black Label Pro show coming to Crown Point, Indiana. There's your Indiana tie-in. Dasher will be in Crown Point, appearing at that show for Black Label Pro. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you go out, see them on Facebook, and get those tickets bought. They're selling quick. You don't want to miss this show. Something unique, something different, something fresh here in Indiana. I like it. So go check them out. More information on that show will be coming up right after the interview with Dasher. So stay tuned for that. We'd like to thank our sponsor, the Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling. Once again, coming up soon, August 5th, the big open house. Get down there. You get to meet Tommy Wildfire Rich himself. You get to meet Tony Atlas. You get to meet Austin Idol. You get to see the school, and it's all free. I mean, it's in Myrtle Beach. Take a little trip, right? Take a weekend vacation. Go down, soak up the sun, catch a few waves, and see wildfire. Sounds pretty cool to me. You can check them out. Hit that number up in the commercial. Call Chris for more information. It's a good deal. If you're looking to get trained, you're looking to dive into this wacky world of professional wrestling, why not do it with the best? Former world champion Tommy Wildfire Rich is opening the school. Be a part. Let Tommy train you so that you can do it right. If you come out of the gate and say that you're trained by Tommy Rich, I mean, you've already got some clout, right? You've already got some respectability there. So, do it the right way. But check out that open house one way or another. Go see those guys, see the facility. You can get an autograph, get your picture taken. It's going to be cool, going to be fun. That's August 5th in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have that interview with Dasher Hatfield. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Visit our friends at the Masked Republic. Go to luchaloot.com and luchashop.com and use the promo code DYNASTY for exclusive discounts.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. I'm your co-host, Ike Isaacs, and today I am joined with the amazing Dasher Hatfield. How are we doing today?
Oh, fantastic, my friend. I just want to first off thank you for having me on the show. Thanks for supporting indie wrestling. You know, we can't get enough support for indie wrestling, so thanks for getting the good one. I'm just here to have a good time. Let's do it, my friend.
Absolutely, Al. I'm ready for it, and I was always, before we even begin, he's right. Support independent wrestling. We need more people in the world to do that. All right, so let's begin, Mr. Hatfield. Where are you from?
I'm a New Jersey native, out of Hoboken, New Jersey, the birthplace of baseball. Nowadays, living a little closer to Pennsylvania, not so much Hoboken anymore, but still in New Jersey. Get to train in Philadelphia all the time down at the Wrestle Factory, Chikara Pro. So I spend a lot of time there, but I'm a New Jersey guy.
Awesome. So then, what was it like growing up down there? What was your childhood like?
Busy, I guess. Close to New York City, so there's always different things around, a lot of good food, a lot of baseball. Mom always kept me busy. So that's, for the most part, how I spent it, just running around, playing baseball when I could, having fun with the other kids, getting my education, all those good things, watching wrestling when the carnival came to town, and yeah, that's about it.
That absolutely simple life as it is. So then let's kind of dive a little bit deeper. Obviously, as a wrestler, what were your first memories as a wrestling as a fan, I should say?
My first wrestling was definitely when the carnivals would come to town. Dad would take me down to the carnivals to watch wrestling shows. You see them come to town maybe about twice a year. They came, so we'd get to watch those. Some of my most favorite memories, though, however, in my older age, when Paul Heyman had started up the ECW there in the '90s. I thought that was a pretty interesting thing. Kind of rekindled my love for wrestling as I got older. I got out of it, and then there was just something super special about that sucked me right back in, and I've never been able to unhook myself from wrestling ever since.
And I can't say that we complain about that. We definitely like it that you're still hooked up to it. But did you have any favorite wrestlers as a kid?
No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
It's a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, as a kid, I have a favorite wrestler. I had a few probably. I was always a big Lou Thesz guy. As I got a little older, I became an Arn Anderson guy. ECW days, I was oddly enough a New Jack. New Jack was my guy.
Absolutely. So then,
little Rob Van Dam maybe, but love New Jack.
Absolutely. So then, do you have any specific memories about ECW? Any kind of crazy memories? Because obviously, as most people probably know, ECW is pretty nuts. So do you have any cool stories about that when you were younger?
I have a few. I wouldn't say when I was younger, but I had a cool experience with New Jack one time where we waited out back of the building, and we had gotten. It was right around when Mike Tyson had bit Evander Holyfield's ear off. So we had bought, we were at a Yankee game, and we bought a T-shirt outside of Yankee Stadium, not inside, but it was a T-shirt of like Evander Holyfield getting his ear bitten by Mike Tyson, and they were like 2 for $10. One for myself, and then I bought one to give to New Jack, and I gave it to him, and then he chopped it up in the New Jack style and wore it to the ring, which was awesome. I was definitely marking out for that experience. And then as I kind of felt like I called my first spot because he had gone in the ring and he did a little hot tag where he would duck a clothesline and he'd bite everybody's ear. So that was a cool experience. It was one of my favorites. He was always the nicest man in the world. We'd always bug him for autographs and things. He was always the nicest.
Absolutely. That's good to hear, though. I mean, like you said, independent wrestling as it is, as it was, as it always been, it's obviously amazing. That's always a good thing to see and hear. So then, kind of moving into your career as a wrestler, obviously you had a little bit of an upbringing with it. You had some good experiences with it, of course, and then, had that rekindling, like you said, of your love for wrestling. But when did you decide that you wanted to become a professional wrestler?
But baseball quieted down for me, and I couldn't really keep up with the young guys anymore. Wrestling, there's not so much running, and it was just one of those things where it wasn't the first thing my brain thought to do, but my competitive ways and my competitive nature was really kind of just itching at me as you're sitting home to find something else to do. And I guess as a kid, wrestling was probably my first love even before baseball. So as a kid, at 5'6", I'd have told you wrestling was what I was going to do. So I just came back to it. I had found a local school. Actually, it started not at the Chikara Wrestle Factory. I was actually a student of a company called Pro Excitement Wrestling, trained originally by two fellas that were original Chikara guys, Love Bug and Martial Law. Not too many people, I think, familiar with those guys. But then they introduced me to Mr. Quackenbush, and the rest of the story is kind of still unraveling.
Absolutely. So then, I'll also jumping a little more into your wrestling career. You debuted for Chikara at the Young Lions Cup 7. What was that debut like for you?
Debut was amazing. That was probably, I guess, considering my trek through Chikara. Let me think. No, I debuted before that. Young Lions Cup 7, would that have been my first go round of Moscow maybe? But I was creative wrestler before that. And my original debut was the first King of Trios weekend, night 2. I wrestled the then Chuck Taylor, the now Dustin, in a singles matchup.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe Dasher Hatfield debuted at a Young Lions Cup. I couldn't tell you which number though.
I got you. I think that's what we kind of saw here is that Dasher Hatfield did. That's where your debut was, that the Young Lions Cup 7.
Yeah, it all blends together. My mind's been scrambled for quite a long time now. I got a little electric shock back in the day, and scrambled my mind up pretty good. So there's too many debuts, and they all kind of blend together. Yeah, Dasher Hatfield, Jason Hades, and Easton.
Right on. Okay.
My first match, Dasher Hatfield.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. That sounds a little bit like what we were looking at there.
It was yeah, and Easton's probably one of my, I don't know, it's probably the most special crowd to me. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I love a Chicago crowd. I love a good Austin crowd. But Easton, just because it was my debut, and it just a lot of special things have happened for me in Easton, Pennsylvania. So it was important for me that it was there.
Absolutely. So then, something else we were kind of looking at is that you're often been a member of the Throwbacks team with Sugar Dunkerton and Mark Angelicetti. Tell us about the Throwbacks.
The Throwbacks are just fun. That's what it's all about. Touchdown could be a jerk every now and again, but for the most part, especially back when it was me and Shuggy Baby, it was just we went out and had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves. We both have a passion for sports, so it just we meshed together very well, and we both just happy-go-lucky people, Sugar and I. So we just got in the ring and had a good time. When Touchdown rolled around, I'd say we got a tad more serious. It was more so I was still having fun, but it was less about having fun and more about winning, starting to link some wins together and get some championship title matches and actually adding some, I don't know, positives to the resume. So Touchdown was very good to keep me focused. He's a very competitive man, so he's always eye on the prize kind of guy. Sometimes in his case, too competitive. When he gets too competitive, then he starts to cheat. He could be a jerk, like I said sometimes.
No, absolutely. That's definitely something that is unfortunately not very uncommon.
I smack them around a little bit. I try to keep them in line, but it only goes so far.
You can't be around 24/7, right?
You got it.
So definitely. So I mean, obviously, up until this point, like you said, you've had you had an upbringing in wrestling. You had some, very interesting moments kind of coming up. But
yeah, I got to give a lot of that credit to my dad, because my dad wasn't such a big wrestling fan himself, but he was a good dad, and he knew I loved it. So he'd make sure to take me as often as he could.
Absolutely. So then, what are some of your most memorable moments from your career so far? Because, like you said, it's still developing as we speak. But what kind of moments have you seen so far that are more memorable ones?
Moments outside of just in particular matches. In 2010, I got to take a trip to Osaka for about 2 weeks. That was a whole lot of fun. I learned being around part of the Chikara family. When we had our big comeback, man, that was a special day when we were all standing in the ring, and we were in Easton, and it was a packed house. There was over 1,000 people, and you just looked out at the crowd who had been deprived of Chikara for over a year, and the wrestlers themselves. Like, I know a lot of the fellas in the locker room had a really rough year that year, just not being around their support. As Chikara, we're a big family, and the support of one another and being around one another is a very positive attribute to a lot of our lives. So it's a very special day for us, and then to be able to stand in the ring and look at the crowd. It was a National Pro Wrestling Day, and just to be able to look at everybody and see the excitement and the enjoyment that everything was back and everyone could kind of sense it. That was super special. I don't know if I ever was as emotional in the wrestling ring as I was that day. But as far as just individual matches go, one of my favorite ones was with Tommaso Ciampa in Chicago about 2 years back. Anytime I get in the ring with Juan Francisco, I enjoy it thoroughly. He's a bit of a bad guy. I enjoy beating him up, but he's a fantastic wrestler and amazing athlete. Heck of a mind for the business as well. I'm a big Fire Ant fan. Getting in the ring with Fire Ant is always enjoyable.
Certainly. So, you kind of mentioned a little bit there about Chikara, and obviously we're talking specifically some about, your career there and whatnot. So, you talked about being a family, but what else does Chikara mean to you?
To me, it's everything. It's wrestling for me. Not that I don't have bigger, higher hopes and goals, but Chikara for me it legitimizes me as a professional wrestler. It's the home to what I believe. People just want to come and have a good time. Not a knock on fans anywhere else, but they come to just smile and laugh and have fun.
Absolutely.
I wrestle you've always heard people say when you're not having fun anymore, you should quit. I don't know if I believe that, because I think there's tough times and good times in anything. Sometimes you got to tough those out, but I wrestle to have fun, and I'm not one of those guys where if my journey doesn't end working for Vince McMahon, that it's going to be a big disappointment or anything along those lines. I started wrestling to have fun, and Chikara allows me to do that. It gives me a platform to just go and enjoy myself. The fact that we get to travel, the country and sometimes even the world, that's a huge bonus. But I get to enjoy myself very much working for Mike Quackenbush and Chikara Pro.
Absolutely. And like you said, it's more than just wrestling too, of course. It's more about the fact that this is like you said, it's where people come to have fun, to laugh, and to just enjoy themselves. But as we kind of been talking and whatnot, we kind of been getting along the lines here about your career. One of the reasons we wanted to have you on the show is to talk to you about the big Black Label Pro Show coming on September 23rd in Crown Point, Indiana. There's a stacked lineup.
I'm thrilled for the show, by the way. Yeah, the lineup's amazing.
Absolutely. And
when I first got the contact where there was, hey, would you want to come be a part of the show? It was an upstart show, so I didn't really know much about it and think too much of it at first. It was just, it was at first just, hey, this is another show, okay. I'll get to travel a little bit and get to go wrestle and have a good time. But as I watched the show build and build and build, and I kept in contact with the promoter more and more and more, I could tell just how hard he was working. And it's not just another show. You can look at that lineup and tell he's put thought into it. It's different. This tournament, I mean, it's grown into being this big, huge thing, and it's picking up steam, and I'm really happy it's doing that, and I'm super thrilled to be a part of it. I hope this is the beginning of something great for the promoter and the fans in the Indiana area. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm excited to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So then,
I get to wrestle Mordecai. Do you know how cool that is? That's like
yeah, I
the
was going to
coolest thing
say,
ever.
I mean, you're in like the first round of the Darkest Timeline Championship tournament. You'll face Mordecai and Joe Gacy. So what were your thoughts about that match?
I'm just excited. I mean, Mordecai disappeared off the face of the earth forever. It seems he's back now. I seen he was at AIW not too long ago. Just super excited. And Joe Gacy's a guy I've been a fan of for a long time, too, and I've never gotten to wrestle. So I get to step in the ring with two guys. I figured sooner or later Joe Gacy and I would tangle a little bit. But Mordecai's definitely a guy I never thought I'd get in the ring and wrestle. So I'm super excited about that. From watching the match announcements and things, and maybe you can clear some of this up for me, I'm still really confused on how the tournament works. It looks like some matches are triple threats, and there's singles matches, and there's four. Is there a phase 2 to the tournament? I see the phase 2 show. I don't know if you can clarify some of this for me, but it's craziness, and I'm super pumped to be part of it.
That's my mindset. It's craziness, and I'm ready for it. I don't think there's anything to clear up. All I know is it's going to be mayhem, and it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of great wrestling, and there's a tournament, and someone's going to win the tournament, and it's going to be fun.
That's exactly right. That's what matters, right?
Just enjoy the ride. Don't worry too much about it, I guess.
Don't think too hard about it, right?
Right, absolutely. That's my motto on a lot of things.
So then, obviously, this is going to be an amazing show. It's going to be an amazing time, but tell us about Black Label Pro as a company.
So far, I know it's their first show, so I can't really say too much of them, like as a company, other than how amazing the lineup looks. But I can talk about just how hard the promoter's working. He's been in contact with me nonstop, and you can tell just by the names on the show that this isn't something he's throwing together kind of hazy. Like he's very meticulous in what he's doing. So as far as like just looking at it from an upstart from the beginning, I got faith in him, and I've been talking to him for a few months now, and I got faith in the man. He's working his butt off, and anytime I see somebody working hard, especially in wrestling, I hope the best for them. And those are the type of people that succeed, are the people that are working hard. People who come in and kind of, give half effort, they're going to sink very quickly. And this man's not doing that at all. If anything, he's giving a whole effort and then another half.
That's what it looks like for sure. So then to kind of do a little quick wind down on the wrestling portion, though, indie wrestling is incredibly hot right now. I mean, it's on fire. And I mean, you're part of probably one of the greatest generations, of course, of, not only wrestlers, but the entertainment itself. So what to you is the best and worst parts about being a piece of the puzzle that we call independent wrestling?
I guess I'll start the best part right now. Is just the talent levels are at an all-time high, and really I think that all starts with you go back to the internet, really, and how everyone has access to so much wrestling. So there's so much education out there for everyone to get. And these seminars that go around, there's different trainers traveling the world. You have your hands right now to learn basically every style of wrestling that you could possibly learn. There's someone who can teach you if you might have to travel a little bit or relocate or really just get some YouTube and take it into the training center and find some training buddies. But the levels at which people are wrestling right now are out of this world. I can only imagine what the next 10 years. And so that's fun because every time you get in the ring, you're in the ring with a guy with a different skill set. And challenge, when you're in there with people like that, it challenges you to become better yourself, or you're going to fall behind. You're going to fall behind very quickly. So that's what I love about it right now is that every match is a challenge. Every time you get in the ring, you're in there with a man who can handle himself, or hopefully, and he can teach you something along the way, whether he means to or not. That's my favorite part, and how quickly the game is advancing. Like you can go to just about any show and see something you haven't seen before, or a guy bring a different aspect to a game. Shinron's a fellow who I think does a great job at that. I don't think he's wrestling in Shinron anymore. He might be. He changes his name a lot. But that guy, he's just incredible. The coolest thing I actually ever seen him do was take a picture with two fans. They just said, "Hey, can we get a picture?" And he said, "Yeah," and he stood behind him, and he grabbed them each on their inside shoulder, and then he posted himself up as if he was a flag, like not straight up and down, almost at like I'd say a little more than a 90-degree angle, maybe like a 105-degree angle, and he just was holding himself there, which had to take the most crazy amount of strength and athleticism, the big thing I've ever seen. And he's just hanging out there, smiling, taking a picture. It was amazing. Now, that's just what he does when he takes a picture. Think about what the man can do in a wrestling ring. Yeah, that's my favorite part about how hot wrestling is right now, and just being a part of it. It's just, I mean, and the recognition is nice, too, now. Like, I feel the indies are gone up since, you know, a whole mess load of the indie guys now wrestling on Mondays and Tuesdays, and pay-per-views on Sundays, and NXT and New Japan, and those are all indie guys that we've come up with, and they're all making big names for themselves. It kind of trickles down to those of us on the indies, that just the respect level has come up. And people get interested to say, hey, where did Cesaro come from? Where did John Moxley come from? Where did, I don't know, Johnny Gargano come from? Where did Michael Elgin come from? And they start to look and they research, and then they're like, hey, that's right in my backyard. I'm going to go check that out. Or I don't know. So they really helped up the game for everybody, and I'm greatly appreciative.
Absolutely. So then, on the other side, though, what's the worst part of independent wrestling?
My worst part of independent wrestling, and this has kind of always been the same ever since I originally started, is anytime you go to training, wherever, there's just maybe guys or girls or just people who I feel, I don't know if they're there for the wrong reasons. They're just not team players. And I even wrote a column about being selfish in wrestling. But it was more so like, you know, with your body and the decisions you make and things like that. But just people who are definitely there only for their own needs and their own wants. I like to get into a match with a guy and really kind of go over, hey, this is what we both do well. Let's really get in there and show off our skills and make us both look even better than we are. And we can do that if we work together as a team. And sometimes you just get in and you have a guy who's only interested in making himself look good, or I don't know. That's probably my least favorite thing. And you run into that more often than you'd like to.
No, absolutely. That's obviously a very
But as you can get better in the years, you learn, but you learn how to deal with those people as well.
Certainly. Obviously,
So I've gotten better at that.
Absolutely, and obviously some, like you said, that's the more unfortunate part of it. But hopefully that'll, as all things, ebbs with the waves and goes away eventually. But unlikely.
I would say those type of individuals don't tend to stick around very long. They tend to burn their own bridges rather quickly. Is one thing I've learned too.
Definitely.
They're like, hey, I got to deal with this guy this week. In a couple months, usually they're gone. They've I don't know, made a new home somewhere or disappeared forever.
Understandable, yeah, absolutely. So then, kind of just to dive a little bit into you a little bit. What's one thing most fans don't know about Dasher Hatfield?
Most fans don't know about Dasher Hatfield.
That's a good question, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think I have a pretty good answer. And some fans knew because they kind of picked up on my franticness last year. Last year at the King of Trios in Easton in 2016, a week after that, little Hatfield number 2 was due. My wife was pregnant and she was due a week later, but Friday morning, so the first day of King of Trios, the doctor told her, I think you're going to go into labor tonight. And I'm like, oh no, you can't go into labor tonight. We have King of Trios this weekend. But so luckily for us, we are somewhat located near Easton, Pennsylvania, where Trios was. And Easton is actually our hospital where our child was born. So it was nice location-wise. So I was like, I'm going to go to the show, but my phone will be in my pocket. And if anything happens, you call me and I will beat you to the hospital. So I ran around like a madman, and I made it through the show Friday, and I left right after my match, and then nothing happened Friday night. And I made it to the show Saturday, and unfortunately we were knocked out of the tournament Saturday, but I guess fortunate for the mental well-being of my wife and knowing I'm home. So, and Sunday I didn't go to the show, which is still a big kicker to me because I was supposed to do commentary with Joe, which was a huge dream of mine. And I wasn't able to do that because we thought, hey, that doctor said the baby was coming Friday, and he didn't come Friday. He didn't come Saturday. He didn't end up coming till Tuesday. But the little guy just wanted to make us worry. But he was born happy and healthy, and he's almost a year now. And he's a happy little bugger.
Awesome. That's always good to hear, though. Hey, awesome. That's awesome. That is a good thing for people to know.
Yeah, I thought it was inside scoop. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I have a daughter as well. She's 4.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 4-year-old daughter, and my son's almost 1.
Well, listen to that, everybody. Dasher Hatfield has kids, little Hatfields.
Little Hatfield.
Right on. So another thing kind of
Yes,
about
they do have
you-
baseballs for heads. They do have baseballs for heads, in case you were wondering. My daughter's, I think, is a softball. It's a little big for her age.
Actually, speaking of baseball, actually another question to ask you. Who is Dasher Hatfield's favorite baseball team?
For years and years and years, I just loved the game. Favorite team. But then when the Marlins beat the Yankees in the World Series, I jumped on that Marlins bandwagon. I don't know how big of a bandwagon it is, and it certainly wasn't long-lasting. But there's just something about those underdog Marlins that won me over then and still have in my heart now. So I'm hoping John Mattingly and little Giancarlo Stanton can turn them around eventually. But I'm a Marlins guy. And they have fancy colors, too. I can't say anything bad about the fancy colors.
You know, I honestly didn't expect to hear the Marlins. That's not something I expected to hear.
Nobody ever does. Nobody ever does. Not too many of us around. It's a rare occasion when I get to walk, through the mall or somewhere and see a fellow Marlins fan. Most of the time, I'll see them too, and I'll say, "Hey, I like the Marlins too," and they'll say, "I just have the hat." Most of the time, it's a disappointment.
And you're just like, "Oh, come on now." I got hopeful there for a minute.
And I feel like I disappoint a lot of people too. Just being such a big baseball fan, I have multiple caps or shirts of different teams, and I'm a huge T-shirt collector, so I have a couple different teams' baseball shirts. And if I wear any of those and somebody comes up, "Oh, you're a Dodgers fan." No, I just own a Dodgers hat. I like the Marlins. I feel like I disappoint some people in that way too.
Absolutely. But, again, it's all about the love of baseball, though, right?
Gotta love baseball. America.
America, that's right. But so kind of just kind of get back to you and like your wrestling career and whatnot. What are your goals for the remainder of 2017? Because I'm sure you still have big things to go for, right?
Yeah, just like to go back to what I said before. Just keep having a good time. If things are supposed to happen, things will happen. I work my hardest every single day. I think that's apparent if anyone's ever seen any of my matches from 10 years ago, from the work rate to physically to athletically to my physique to all those things. Like I work my butt off all the time, and that's all I can do. That's all I can control. So hopefully, somebody out there with a whole lot of money that wants to pay me a lot of money to wrestle would make it more fun, because it's more fun if you're making money. But if somebody there, the right person sees me and wants to give me a little nudge up the ladder, I'd be happy to take it. But other than that, I wouldn't say content, but I'm satisfied right where I am, and I love wrestling for Chikara Pro. I'm super excited about Black Label Pro and this tournament that's going on right now. I don't want to say 2017, but one of my I want to go wrestle in Mexico. That just looks like tons of fun to me. I think everyone in the world wants to go wrestle in Europe right now. Those guys are absolutely killing it. Amazing, and they've been amazing for a long time, but just the world's taking notice now. So a little trip to Europe would be awesome as well. But I think Mexico is probably the biggest on my bucket list for before I hang up the boots. I'd like to go to Mexico and wrestle.
Absolutely, and I think we would love to see you go to Mexico and wrestle. I think that would be absolutely incredible.
I'd have to learn some Spanish. I know a little bit, but not too much.
Pequeño Español. That's
nope, don't know what that is.
Little Spanish.
I don't even know what that means. Something Spanish.
Little Spanish. Pequeño means small.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Actually, pequeño means small. That's my bad. I have horrible Spanish as well, so I know a little bit. But all right. Well, hey, we're gonna go ahead and try and wrap this up a little bit here. But is there social media where your fans can follow you, keep up with everything that's going on, all the awesomeness that is Dasher Hatfield?
Sure. I wasn't very smart when I created it all because it's all kind of different. But Facebook's just Dasher. Instagram is @Dasher Hatfield. Those two are similar. But my Twitter is Mr. Hatfield 4. There is an at Dasher Hatfield, but that's not me. I believe it's a role play type deal. But yeah, Twitter's at Mr. Hatfield 4.
At Mr. Hatfield 4. Alright, so you guys heard it here. You know all of his social medias. Go follow him. Keep posted on him, because I promise you, you're going to want to. But do you have anything else to kind of throw in there? Any other little quips or little tidbits?
Just come see Black Label Pro. If you just take a look at the card, and they've announced a lot of the cards, it's very different from the talent on the first card. They're doing a great job right now. And as a performer, I'm excited to go. I'm excited to go to the show and see what happens. Locker room, and a lot of times you see the same talent kind of on all the shows. And this is very different. There's a lot of talent that I've never been on shows with. A lot of talent from brand new guys to guys who have been around, guys who are kind of in the middle.
Absolutely.
In the best parts of their careers, and it's going to be craziness. That's really all I can tell you about it. You will enjoy yourself. But yeah, come see, come watch, come meet me, say hi, shake my hand, buy my T-shirt. That's always good.
Right. That's the best thing about independent wrestling too, is that you buy T-shirts and you're not only an awesome T-shirt, but you're helping a guy out. But you guys heard it. Go see the show.
Absolutely. I do have awesome T-shirts. I think that's the best thing. That's my best. What are your best wrestling skills, Dasher Hatfield? Creating cool T-shirts is my number one.
Well, then
way better, and yeah, and I'm a pretty good wrestler too, but I think I'm better creating T-shirts.
Then you have something to fall back on then after wrestling, isn't that right? Make T-shirts.
That's true. That's true.
All right, as you heard it here, he has awesome T-shirts. He's also a pretty good wrestler. And also go see Black Label Pro. Watch that show. Check him out on social medias, and also check out Black Label Pro on social medias. I'm 90% sure that they would have a social media web of some sort. Go check him out. We'll have links to all of it. But I think that'll do it all for today, Mr. Hatfield. I do want to thank you for coming on here and being an awesome guest.
Hey, thank you for having me. Have me back a year from now or so. We'll do it again.
Absolutely. More than happily bring you back on.
Domino's Northwest Indiana presents the Black Label Pro Darkest Timeline Championship Tournament, taking place September 23rd at 1 p.m. in Crown Point, Indiana. Opening round matchups include former UFC fighter and King of the Bros, Matt Riddle, taking on current UFC fighter Filthy Tom Lawler. Keith Lee takes on Sammy Guevara. Darby Allin faces former ECW and WWE superstar Super Crazy, and also in attendance and competing, Dasher Hatfield, former WWE superstar Mordecai, Leva Bates, Chris Dickinson, Jacka, and Rory Gulak.
Come crack open a cold one and let Old Manser tell you a story.
King of Big Dog Style, Laird's and Light Beer, the king of the trailer court, your favorite wrestler of mine, me.
This is Warner's Wisdom with Mance Warner.
All right, people, the red light is on. That means another edition right here, Dave Dynasty Show, King of Big Dog Style, Laird's and Light Beer Tour, Old Manser, Southern Psycho, Master of the Pop-Up Headbutt, your favorite wrestler, and mine, me, Old Manser. Back here on the Dave Dynasty Show with another edition of Warner's Wisdom. I just pulled over my beautiful truck on the side of the road out here. Looked like it's going to start storming. Feeling pretty hot, but pretty nice out today. I'm going to do this podcast real quick, and Old Manser going to go drink some light beers, a whole bunch of light beers with some hers. Did you hear me there? Hers. No the way of saying whores. I just don't want to be a jerk on here, you know what I mean? Okay, Old Manser, let me pull it together. Remember what I was going to say? Oh, perfect. Right here, right now. Old Manser, go to Pro Wrestling Tees. Let me say that again. ProWrestlingTees.com. Get yourself a Manser t-shirt. Beautiful t-shirt. Laird's and Light Beer on it. They're great. Go get one now, dummy. Anywho, Old Manser been in Cleveland, Ohio. Then I went out to, I think it was South Bend, Indiana. I think it was. I don't remember. Did my shows. This coming week, I got IWA Mid-South on Tuesday night, on Thursday night, and I believe on Saturday night too. And then something on Friday. I got to look at my calendar there. I'm old school, man. I got a calendar. I put everything on it. That's how Old Master knows where he's supposed to be going. This one going to be short and sweet because, like I said, I got to get to my light beers. This one has to do with security guards at the wrestling show, baby. Every show Old Master goes to, any show you go to, it ain't even got to be pro wrestling. There's always security there, right? Nah. In pro wrestling, sometimes the security are new wrestlers, right? New upstarts coming into the business. Sometimes security is actually security that's paid, and they from a security agency or whatnot, a business, and they're the big old dudes that go out there and they do security. Then on occasions, you have fans that are the security guards. Correct? They show up. Maybe they get to see the show for free, but there's security at all the shows, right? Okay, perfect. I'll sum that up for you. You with me? We all on the same page. Old Master talking to you. Your ears are open. Them eyes, maybe they're open. I don't know. Maybe you close them eyes and you listen to old sweet Mancer's voice right here, and it just relaxes you. I don't know. But I do know that Old Master goes to these shows, 3 or 4 shows every week. I like to go to a show every day of the week. That'd be great. Old Master goes to shows, and you know, if you sign Old Master up to come do a show for you, if you see Master on a marquee coming to your town, coming to your venue, coming to your show, it's guaranteed Old Master going to walk out to the ring. I'm going to be in the crowd. I'm here going to be talking some shit. I'm going to be raising some hell, starting up a riot. I'm going to be going nose to nose with somebody in the crowd. Or maybe I'm going to go out and I'm going to walk through the crowd. I'm going to do a little preaching. I'm going to, do some high fives. I'm going to be drinking some light beers because the fans bring me some cold beers. I drink them out there with them. It's like Old Master is out there at church with Old Master, right? And we having some beers, having a good time. Now, my complaint here, my wisdom I'm going to drop for the security guards. If you're a trade security guard, you ain't got to listen to this. Right now, you probably out there working anyways, doing a security gig, getting some good money out there. Maybe you at a strip club. Maybe you at a bar. Maybe you at a big old concert. I don't know. The wisdom Old Master going to drop right here is very simple. If Old Master is coming to your town, security guards, do your damn jobs and follow Master into the crowd. Because every week the same thing occurs. Old Master drives out somewhere, goes to a venue, goes to a show. My music hits. I go out there, I get in the crowd. And Old Master always gets into it with somebody. I go nose to nose with some fool out there. Some sucker out there in the crowd, baby. Old Master gets people riled up. Gets their blood flowing, gets their blood pumping, and they get angry. And they want to take a swing on Old Master. Now, security, y'all got to follow me out there. Because this is the point right here. Listen to me. Old Master is not trying to catch another case, baby. I'm trying to stay at the big house. I ain't wanting to go back. I will if I got to, but I don't want to go back. Even though I already eat ramen every day and throw a little tuna fish in there, maybe some of that canned chicken I get from the Dollar General. But my point is, I ain't trying to punch no fan. My point is, Old Master ain't trying to gouge nobody's eyes out in the crowd. Old Master ain't trying to headbutt nobody. Old Master, weekly. A couple weeks ago, I was at a show. Security, just hanging out. All 4 of them are standing over at the wall, bullshitting about, I don't know what the hell they talking about, but they ain't doing their job. Old Master walks out there. A 7 or 8-year-old kid come running at Master taking swings. He throwing tater shots at me. 1, 2, 3, 4 wackadoos in the air. Boom, he coming at me. I had to pick this kid up, throw him over my shoulder, and then proceed to do the rest of my entrance. Now I rolled the kid in the ring. I told him I'll be back in there in a second. He ran off, ran back to his seat. My point is, security. It ain't that hard. Just follow Old Master. Because what's going to happen is Master going to lose his cool and beat someone up, and then I'm going to get in all kinds of trouble. Going to be all over the internet how Old Master went out there beating up fans, right? like I said, that's all I got today. Just a little wisdom I'm dropping for the security guards out there. Now, old Master, go get to his beers and his whores and get off here. Get back on the road. Y'all have a good one. Have a good week. Ain't gonna be as good as old Masters, but you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes, people. All right, this is Old Master on the Dave Dynasty Show, dropping that word wisdom, baby, every week, coming at you on whatever day it come on here. I can't remember right now. It's been a long week, people. All right, Master out of here, baby. Master approved. See you next week. Have a good week, dummies.
Hey, Dave Dynasty here for the Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You know, I've spent years in the wrestling business, from wrestler to promoter, and now as the host of the Dave Dynasty Show. To be successful in the wrestling business, solid training from experienced instructors is mandatory if you're going to make it today. And that's what you'll get at the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling. Not only instruction from former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Tommy Wildfire Ridge, but many other big-name wrestlers, managers, and referees. And it gets better. Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling will provide in-ring training and personal character training with all practices recorded on high-definition cameras. They have over 2 tons of weightlifting equipment and tanning beds located in an indoor sports facility that will host monthly wrestling events, bringing in names big enough to ensure that you, as a beginning student, will get seen. This school has it all. For anyone interested in the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling, call 336-862-5528 today. Once again, that is 336-862-5528. Ask for Chris, and you will immediately be on your way to your career in the wrestling business. Once again, call Chris at the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling at 336-862-5528.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. Once again, I am your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you for sticking with us. Very cool interview with Dasher Hatfield. A little information on that Black Label Pro show. Make a point to be there. You do not want to miss this show. Thank you again to our sponsor, the Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling. Speaking of things you don't want to miss, speaking of events you don't want to miss, August 5th, their big grand opening. Tommy Rich, Tony Atlas, Austin Idol. You get to see the facility. What more can you want? Make a point, plan the trip, be there for that. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed that interview. Hope you enjoyed my various little ramblings. We came out of the gates. I stuttered and stammered a little, but hopefully it all pulled together and you enjoyed this episode. Once again, visit DaveDynasty.com for all of our social media links. Follow us on all those. Make sure you subscribe and follow to us through all the means to get this podcast and more, especially on YouTube, where we're always posting classic wrestling, WWA, etc., etc. Some more stuff coming there. And we're also, always posting some exclusives and different things there, so subscribe to us there. Please share the episodes. Help spread the word. Build the network. The Midwest Express, if we like to call it. Whatever. Spread the word, man. Share the episodes. Speaking of Midwest Express, go to DaveDynasty.com and either click on the Dynasty Shop link, the banner there, or the Pro Wrestling Tees link, and see all of our shirts, including that Midwest Express shirt. Show your love of the Midwest. Show your support for pro wrestling in the area, and buy a Midwest Express shirt and wear it to the shows. Speaking of shows, make it a point. Get out there every weekend, every night you can. Go to a local show. Support the local wrestlers. Buy a shirt. Buy a hot dog. Support these guys and what they do for you. You'll have a great time, I guarantee it. That's all we've got. We will see you next week here on the Dave Dynasty Show. I am Dave Dynasty, and we are signing off. We'll see you next week. Thank you, fans. Goodbye.